Live from Darth Easy Studios in Eddyville, Kentucky, it's time for a new podcast. This is Darth Easy's Top 10, a monthly show where I will break down a random top 10 of a movie or something I'm feeling to do. So yeah, let's do this. This is Top 10 Hamilton songs from the Hamilton soundtrack and the musical that released on Disney Plus last week. Because I just can't get it, because it's just non-stop. See what I did there? Alright, your host, Darth Easy! Hello, Easy Nation. Welcome to another episode of Darth Easy's, welcome to the first episode of Darth Easy's Top 10. This is, so, you know, me and Rainy Cage, we used to do the Easy K show, and every month we would do a random top 10 in honor of a theme coming out in that month. Well, I've been wanting to do top 10s again, and since I'm riding solo now, I said, well, let's do his top 10. And there hasn't been any movies coming out due to the COVID-19 outbreak. But I'm like, I want to do a top 10. So this week I am doing this month, or it's going to be a monthly podcast. So, and it'll all be part of the Darth Easy Show podcast network that is on my iTunes and other platforms. Also, check out the Darth Easy Show, the YouTube. If you're listening to this on YouTube, this is where you're listening to that at. So this is going to be my top 10 Hamilton songs from the Hamilton soundtrack, from the musical. And I love Hamilton. I love the music, and I've listened to the song so many times. So I want to do a top 10 of it. And so this is going to be, as always, this is a complete and utter biased list. And if you have a problem with that, then why are you listening to this? This is just my opinion. You don't have to take it to heart. So guys, let's get right to it, and let's talk about the top 10 Hamilton songs from Hamilton soundtrack. So at number 10, my number 10 is It's Quiet Uptown. Yeah, so It's Quiet Uptown is a beautiful song. I really do believe it is such a beautiful song. And the thing about Hamilton, the soundtrack, or the play and everything, it's a hip-hop album. That's what it is. But then they bring in these songs like It's Quiet Uptown, and it's just a sweet little melody. And it's such an emotional song because there's so much baggage in there. Because in the song before, their son, Philip Hamilton, gets himself killed in a duel, and she blames Hamilton, and then there's the whole thing with how Hamilton cheated on her with the Reynolds girl, and the song it's just so sweet. It just shows, and I love the story it tells, and that's what music is sometimes. It's a story, and he's aged so much. And he realizes who he loves, and it's that woman, Eliza Schuyler Hamilton. I just find the song so touching. And if you haven't heard the Kelly Clarkson version of the song, it's the same thing basically, but it's also very well worth a listen. So yeah, It's Quiet Uptown. It definitely, I had to put it in my list somewhere because I was struggling what to put at 10. And there's a few songs I was really wanting to put. They're a little more fun, but this one I just had to put in there. All right, so my number 9 is Helpless. So just like the last song, It's Quiet Uptown, and what I love about this soundtrack, it's not just hip hop. And Helpless it reminds me of like a kind of a poppy, kind of like Beyonce or Madonna, or, some kind of poppy song and it's a love story. It's about how Eliza Schuyler basically fell in love with Hamilton, and how he wrote letters to her all the time, how he wants to give her everything in the world. And I find Helpless it's just a good listen to. I think it's a good song. I think it's very good. But like I said, it's a love story, and I'm kind of a sucker for a good old love story, sappy song like that. And Helpless is very good. And like I said, I like hearing the different kind of musical themes in this soundtrack. So I had to put Helpless in my top 10 as well. At number 8, I have One Last Time. Yeah, this song, it's Lin-Manuel Miranda and Christopher Jackson in this song. Christopher Jackson just carries the role of George Washington so well, and you kind of buy him as that character. And the song, it's all about George Washington telling Hamilton about how this is his final year in office. He is not going to be running for re-election. He wants to he wants to rest. He wants he's ready to pass the torch on. And Hamilton's like, no, you could continue to serve. You're the only man for the job. I mean, you have to realize Hamilton before in that, the play doesn't really cover it, but Hamilton's first idea of government was us to follow the British monarchy and we have King George. George Washington was supposed to be king, and Washington's like, no, I don't want that. So they came up with the Republic, and it's still standing to this day. Well, for now at least, until some craziness happens. But like I said, what I love about the song, it's George Washington stepping down and how he sets the precedence to only one president, FDR, served more than 2 terms, and Washington set that thing, say you do your 8 years and you're done. That's the most you can do as president. And I love this song for that. And I like how he's just like, I'm going home, I'm going to rest. That knowing what I did, I helped establish this country. I served this country, I helped its foundation, and I think I've done enough. And it's just, I think it's a beautiful song. It was, I've watched the clip on YouTube many times of them singing at the White House with Obama, and yeah, I love the song. It's a very good one. All right, at number 7, I get What Did I Miss? Yeah, this song is, what I like about it is it's the song that begins Act 2 of Hamilton, and it introduces Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson, the writer of the Declaration of Independence, and famous enemy to Alexander Hamilton. So kind of one of the, or I guess one of his rivals. It's a better way to put it. I think one of the best political rivals in U.S. history, between Hamilton, which would start the Federalist Party, and Thomas Jefferson. But I like how about it's, everyone's doing the hip-hop and everything, and Jefferson's been away for about 10 years. So he comes back still singing the jazz from the 1920s era, and that's what I like about the song. It has a very jazzy feel to it, and that's what I like about the song. And Davy Diggs, just incredible in all the songs he is in. I mean, this song, I didn't put it in there, but Washington on Your Side, I really like him in that song. Whenever he's Lafayette in the first act, I think he's great in that as well. But yeah, What I Miss, very enjoyable song. It's just a good listen to. And I mean, what did I miss? What did I mean? And like that little improv moment where I heard where he's like, when Madison's like, where have you been? He's like, France. Just like, that's hilarious. Love it. At number 6, I have Wait For It. Yeah, Wait For It is, it's Leslie Odom Jr. and it's, Hamilton keeps telling him, he's like, you gotta fight for what you want. You just gotta jump in head first. And Burr, just on the other side of it, just is like, no, I'm gonna wait for it because I want to know how the cards are gonna land. And I think the song is it's a brilliant song into the Burr psyche up to this point in the play. And you're just hearing, and the song's great too. I mean, Leslie O. Jr., great. This song and The Room Where It Happened. I didn't put Your Room Where It Happened. I was close to, but I think that's a good song too. But that is the turning point of Burr's song, of him saying he's gonna stop waiting for it and he's gonna start going for what he wants. But Wait For It really gets into the psyche because he lost his family really young, and he talked about this woman he's loving, and I think it's a brilliant song. Wait For It's a very good song. I really like it. At number 5 is You'll Be Back. This song is just fun. This is a fun song, and Alexander Hamilton and King George III never met. But the idea, because, you have King George's message crossed to his 13 faithful colonies of how he feels about the rebellion, and basically says, you'll be back. Soon you'll see. You'll remember you belong to me. You'll be back. Time will tell. You'll remember I love you well. Oceans rise. Empires fall. And it's just great. And then the performance of Jonathan Groff, which, if you're not aware, that's Kristoff. That's right. Kristoff is King George III. And that's the thing about it. This song, this cast is mostly a cast of African Americans, Latina people, and one of the guys who steals the show, because the whole play is someone stealing the show. And You'll Be Back is the white guy stealing the show, ironically. And the song's just great. And the performance by Jonathan Groff is great. Whenever he's singing and spit just comes out of him, it's just something a king would totally do. The song is great. It's a great listen to. I love You'll Be Back. And yeah, I love it. Alright, so guys, at my number 4, I have the Battle of Yorktown, The World Turned Upside Down. Yeah, I mean, this is, it's a pivotal moment for the play and history, because, this is the battle where Hamilton gets his first command, and, it's teaming up with, the Marquis de Lafayette. I like how at the beginning of the song, it's like, immigrants, we get the job done. Because Hamilton, he's an immigrant. He's from the Caribbean. You have Lafayette, who came to America just to fight the British, because his family the French always fought the British in his entire family's history. And, Lafayette's a significant founding father who's not even he was never really American. And it's very interesting to hear in the song. I really like. The Battle of Yorktown's just great. I mean, you hearing all the stuff, like Hamilton always says, like, I either want to die in a war, or I want to be able to get enough legacy, history, and power in order to become someone thanks to a war. And he's right, because a lot of people do come up in power due to wars. And without the Revolutionary War, Hamilton would have just been some poor guy, probably from with a guy who wrote a bunch of stuff in New York. But he became George Washington's right-hand man and helped build a great treasury, the Treasury Department, that is still thankful to Hamilton to this day. A lot of his policies are still intact till today. And yeah, this song is just great, just to hear it, and how the world just turned upside down. We're free from the British, and yeah, I just like the song whenever he said, my Eliza expects me. Not only that, my Eliza is expected. She's expecting me, but she has a kid she's about to be born. He said, I gotta start a new nation, gotta meet my son. And it's just, I love the song. It's great. So yeah, number 3 is Satisfied. Yeah, this song completely leaves me satisfied. Haha, see what I did there? Yeah, this song is incredible. It's just such a great song. And this was really one of the first Hamilton songs that I heard that really hooked me. And I've always enjoyed Satisfied. And it's just, it's, done by Renee Elise Goldsberry. And like, when you first see her in her first song, the Schuyler Sisters, you realize you're just like, it's like, this girl's good. And I like, and then the song in the play where it's the time travel, and where she's going back to when she first sees Hamilton, and he tells her, he says, "You strike me as a woman who's never been satisfied." And she's like, "Yeah, right." She's like, "Oh, I've never been satisfied either." And that's the thing about, one of the things about the Hamilton story is he's a guy who always wanted more than what he could get. And that's a lot what I like about this, the song. And then the song's just good. I just think, you'll never be satisfied. I'll never be satisfied. Just such a great song. And I love Satisfied. And it does leave me satisfied. Haha. All right, my number 2 is The Election of 1800. Yeah, The Election of 1800, it's a lot of my love for history, but, Election of 1800, it's always considered one of those elections that was, I consider one of the pivotal moments in American history, because if Aaron Burr wins, the history of this country is probably a lot different. And Aaron Burr was really a guy who was upcoming, but the country probably would have gone in a completely different direction, probably a bad direction, be honest with you. And Jefferson, when he won, it completely solidified the Jeffersonian Republicans' dominance over the Federalist Party forever. But yeah, what I love about this is just Jefferson needs an endorsement from Hamilton. Hamilton didn't like Jefferson. They disagreed with him like 100 times. That's what I like about the song when it says, "I fought with Jefferson on 100 different fronts, and even though I don't like him, Jefferson has beliefs. Burr has none. Burr wanted the power, and this isn't just the reason why Burr and Hamilton dueled. In 1804, when Burr was not going to be picked to be the vice president again under Jefferson, Burr ran for governor, and Hamilton kept Burr from winning the governor race as well in the state of New York. And for that was just a final draw, and that's what eventually led to the duel. But this is the pivotal moment in the play when Burr wanted to be in the room where it happened. And that's one thing I liked about it this way, where Burr was always a guy who always stayed back and always didn't do. He waited for it. But as the play goes along, Burr becomes more like Hamilton. He even says, he's like, "I learned it from you." And Hamilton, it becomes more like Burr at the beginning of the play. So it's a very interesting song of a really big moment of history. And the election of 1800, it's just a really good number. I just really like, and I like how it shows how the Federalists and Hamilton really chose who became the president of 1800, and that's how Thomas Jefferson became president. All right, my number one is obviously My Shot. I mean, I am not throwing away my shot. I am not throwing away my shot. I am just like my country. I'm young, scrappy, and hungry, and I'm not throwing away my shot. I mean, that's just, if there's anything about this play, it's this song. And if you think about the song, because it's used in so many of the songs, from Non-Stop to Yorktown, he said, I'm not throwing away my shot. I'm just like my country. I'm young, scrappy, and hungry. I'm not throwing away my shot. And at the end of the story of Hamilton did throw away his shot because he refused to kill Burr. He threw it away, and that's the whole point of the play. When you see him and he has his hand is pointed to the air, that's him throwing away his shot. And that's what it's just. But it's cool watching it because it's about a guy who's an immigrant who's trying to make a name for himself, and he's not going to throw away that shot he has had. And also about the other people in the country about trying to rise up against their oppressors. The song is great. I've listened to it about 100 times. I've done a karaoke to it a couple times, and I love this song. So, guys, that is my top 10 Hamilton songs. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Guys, I will also be doing a Darfeasy review. This will be my other new podcast, which I'll be doing right after I finish this. And it's basically going to be me talking about a movie or whatever, and I'm going to be completely doing a spoiler review. And there's some things I want to say about Hamilton, so that I couldn't cover in my full movie review of it. So I want to do a spoiler review, of Darfeasy reviews on it. So, guys, also my Darfeasy TV recap. It's not canceled. It's been a few weeks. Mostly it's because I only have one show on right now, and I hate just to do a podcast on one episode of TV. So I'm waiting on a few more episodes of it to come out, and then of Stargirl to come out, and I will do an episode on that. But for now, I'm just kind of taking a break from TV recap because there's no point of doing just one episode a week. Alright, guys, that ends this episode of Darfeasy's TV Recap. Make sure you check, guys, that ends this week's episode of Darfeasy's podcast. I hope y'all enjoyed. Stay tuned for my spoiler review of Hamilton, which will be out pretty soon. And yeah, and also check out my YouTube channel for all other movie reviews and other stuff. So, guys, until next time, all too easy.